happy Saturday. I am not going to talk about the election today. I'm just going to leave this here for you to take in. What I am going to talk about today is the tariffs and how that's affecting jobs, how that's affecting home sales. And we need to stop feeling bad for corporations because they find very creative ways to deal with their problems. First up, here in London, we will be hit hard by these tariffs. Trump auto tariffs could kill 10,000 London area jobs, which is 50% of the auto sector in this area. Yeah, that's bad. And it's going to be bad for the U.S. as well. So this is an article about Trump and Carney having their first conversation from the BBC. But this map is awesome. It really highlights the issue, okay? So I used engines as an example the other day because we think of them as one thing, but obviously it's a collection of parts, right? So let's take a look at the pistons. First, powdered aluminum is sent to Tennessee. From where? Who knows? Maybe from Canada. Point is, it starts off here. It gets sent to Pennsylvania, turned into rods. From there, it gets sent to Canada. They're shaped and polished. From Canada, we send them to Mexico, where they're assembled into a piston, and that piston is sent to Michigan to be put into an engine. So does that engine get tariffed? Does the piston get a tariff? Does the piston head, because it's coming from Mexico, does it get a 25% tariff, while the piston rod, which crosses the border 3 times, maybe it gets a 75% tariff? Who knows? And if that powdered aluminum came from Canada, hell, there's another tariff right there. Even the Americans don't know how they're going to do this. This is why they started with tariffs back in February and then switched it to March to try and think it through. And then they said, okay, just blanket tariffs for April because they don't know how they're going to tariff things. Like, is that engine made in the United States or not? And this problem is repeated again and again and again for almost every component in a vehicle. Now, with people being afraid of losing their jobs or of there being a general slowdown in the economy, because why would you not be afraid of that? TD has slashed its forecast on home price. TD has revised its forecast sharply downward, now expecting a 3.2% decline in the average price of homes. All right, smart guy, where can we get a smoking deal on home? New construction. As I'm sure you know, building a home is not a quick process, right? Like some of these places were started a year ago. And builders do not want to have these homes sitting on the books right now, not when activity is slowing down. So it's not crazy to think that they will get rid of that house at cost. How much are we talking? 100 grand? Maybe more? I just helped my buyers get a place like that. It was originally listed for 8, they got it for 7. If you feel secure, it's worth considering. All right. I, like you, am sick and tired of hearing of this industrial carbon levy. I'm tired of hearing the federal government get blamed for something that Alberta put in place in 2007. But let's shift a little bit. I want to point out how companies can get very creative when it comes time to avoiding or dealing with these types of costs. Stick around and let me tell you the story about Ducati and also how it was misreported. From Wired, Audi buys Ducati for $1.12 billion, but why? Because the official reasons were all over the place. If you're into cars and motorcycles, you knew why right away. They didn't have to tell you. But I digress. Because this analyst from Credit Suisse, I'm going to try this name. I'm probably going to destroy it. Arndt Ellinghorst? Anyway, he goes on to say, the Ducati purchase is driven by VW's passion for nameplates rather than industrial or financial logic. How do these people get their jobs? Because is that a true statement? Fuck no. What? No! No one spends $1.12 billion for shits and giggles. You see, Volkswagen owns Audi, and Audi owns Lamborghini. And Audi bought Ducati, but put it under the Lamborghini umbrella. Are you following so far? See, because in the European Union, there's a fuel economy rule. And, spoiler alert, Lamborghini breaks that rule constantly. So, to get Lamborghini's corporate fuel economy down, Volkswagen bought Ducati and gave it to Lamborghini through Audi. And that helped Lamborghini avoid penalties from the EU. With the added bonus that Ducati is quite profitable. Not enormously profitable, but profitable nonetheless. And having Lamborghini own Ducati is way better for the brand than having Lamborghini build something like that. And lastly, before someone tries to make me feel bad about the oil and gas industry, let me remind you of something. The federal government does a lot to help the oil and gas industry. This year tallies about $18 billion. That's 1 year. How much would it cost to get rid of homelessness? $3.5 billion per year. If we can find creative ways to help them, why can't we find creative ways to help them?